Hello, stamping friends. This is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Diego, California, where the sun is out, but it's a little chilly. I'd say it's in the 50s today, so that's a little chilly for us. But sun is out. We got some, what they kept calling drizzle last night, which sounded like pretty heavy rain. So that's wonderful because we haven't had any in a couple weeks. So now, once again, we don't have to turn on sprinklers, which is always exciting around here. So I don't know if you know, hey, we got somebody. Hi, Donna. Where are you from? Where are you watching me from today? Anyway, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I am not in my normal office where I stamp. I am actually moved my entire stamp room this weekend, and that's because we're having some construction going on here. So I will be down here for a couple weeks. Depending on how noisy it is next Monday, I'll let you know if I have to not be on, but we will see. I'm going to keep trying here. So that was kind of fun. I found all these little pieces of things that I can now make into, trying to see here, that I can make into cards. So as I was cleaning up and moving stuff, it was kind of fun to go, oh, here's a little, I don't know, flower or something. I can make a card out of this. So made a few kits as I was going, which was a good distraction. So anyway, I'm here downstairs, and it's kind of nice. So hey, Doris, thanks for coming on here. So what's new with Stampin' Up? One thing that's new, I think we talked about last week, is with the celebration that ends at the end of the month. So far, they haven't run out of anything, which is really cool. And they also gave us 9 new products to earn for free. And these are regular products from the Stampin' Up! Stores and the annual catalog as well as the mini catalog. So that's kind of cool. And then, so I'm going to actually turn you down here and see if we can see everything. So if my internet goes out, because I'm in a different spot right now, so I'm never quite sure if things are going to work, then I will pop back on. But I'm going to turn you down here. So hopefully you can see that. So that's the celebration stuff that's happening now. Hopefully this is working here. Anyway, so this is the new celebration stuff. We've got one $100 one, which is a whole Eden's Garden bundle, and the rest are for if you buy $50 from any catalog that's current. We got a couple of kits. We've got some white ribbon. We've got the Essential Tag Punch. We've got the Songbird Punch. I just ordered this one Into the Clouds embossing folder because I don't have it. Hive embossing folder, these lovely masks, and this really cool Enjoy the Journey paper, which if you look back a few, I did use and show you a whole bunch more extra ones. So, and then the other thing that's happening now, if you're a demonstrator, you can order now. Everybody else, March 1st, these online exclusives, and these are going to be more and more common, where they're going to put out, usually, they haven't told us how much. All they've told us is what's out right now for demonstrators to buy is only a fraction of what they're going to be putting online. So here's the online exclusive that you can buy now. If you look at this, you can see there's a stamp set, a bundle with these really cool dies. As a matter of fact, oh, gee. I made something at my uplines. Well, I guess you'll have to look at last week's thing because we did make a couple cards using this, so you could see this die. But in the chaos, I don't know where it is. It has some beautiful paper, these dots that are not self-adhesive, but are really beautiful and very easy to use. Either a glue dot on them or just glue on with some white glue. this metallic-y paper, as well as this set of 3 embossing folders. So that's the news of what's going on. So if you haven't figured it out yet, we are going to be using, the Favored Flowers Designer Series paper. And I must say, although Dainty Flowers, I think, is the most requested free item from Celebration, this is actually my favorite. And I think part of the reason is because it has Blackberry Bliss in it, and I just love Blackberry Bliss. So it's got these beautiful flowers in Blackberry Bliss and Freesia, as well as Pale Papaya, and in Coral, the Coral. And then the backs, let me just turn the whole thing over, have these great small prints that are just really, really pretty. So we're going to be using that. And again, that's free with a $50 order. And then we're also going to be using this Something Fancy bundle here. I mainly got this because I thought these dies were so cool, but really, I'm really enjoying the sentiments. And we're going to be using this sentiment today. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. Now, this is supposed to be one stamp, but I decided I liked it with just this on the front, and I thought this would be really cool for the inside. So what did I do? I took my red rubber stamp and I cut it in half. And I know there's got to be at least somebody who is gasping out there, oh my God, you can't do that. Well, guess what? It's my stamp. I can always do like this, put it back on a block, put it all in together. But I actually really love having it cut apart like this. So we're going to actually use that today. Oh, I also wanted to point out that there are some tags in here, which are really cool. They have these separate little ones that will cut the little hole for the tag. We're not using the tag today, but I just thought I'd show you that. So this is our fancy fold card. Whoops, move it up. And I don't think we've ever made this card before, but it opens like this and then like this. And I think part of the reason I wanted to do this is I could use multiple different pieces of this beautiful paper. Hey Louise, thanks for joining us from Daytona Beach, Florida. How's the weather down there? I've heard you've been having some nice weather, but maybe that's changed. All right, so this fancy fold is actually pretty darn easy, and I like that it's going to be easy for someone to figure out how to open it, and that you can use this floral paper for anything. Now, obviously here I made a sympathy card, but today we're gonna make a birthday card. So first thing I'm going to do is get out my trimmer. So we've got just a regular piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we are going to fold it on the score line because it also makes it easier to see this score line. And then we are going to cut a diagonal from this down to that corner. So we're going to get out our trimmer and we're just going to place it, on, can you see this? Let me move it down a little. So we've got where we're going to cut, and we're going to go from the fold out to that point. So can you see that? That's the line we're going to cut down. And whoops, that did not cut very well. So, and since I've moved it, well, we're going to see how accurate I was in my placement here, because we're going to have to do it again, and then we're going to have to come back and change this blade, I think. There we go. I just pushed a little harder. Okay, and then this is just extra that you can use maybe to make a I don't know, a sentiment piece. Okay, it's got a little ragged here. Sorry about that, because I had to cut it twice. Oops, we're not done with our cutter, because we're going to do the same thing to this piece of paper that then's going to fit down on the sides. So this DSP is 3 3/4 by 5. And you guys don't have to write all this down, okay? So it's all going to be on my blog, stampwithdrrobin.blogspot.com, once I get my act together here. So later this afternoon. And again, whoops, let's see if we can get this all in there. So I'm going point to point, opposite point to opposite point. And we're going to just, again, cut it in half. Okay? And again, we have another half. And we could actually, you know, go back with this other half here and either use it on, you know, a card, some other card, or we could make the card, you know, open like that. So it opens like that and then flaps down. But that's not what we're doing today. But that's for another day. Okay, so that's going to get glued on here. And then we have this inside piece that's just 4 by 5 1/4. So let's glue some things down here. Hey, Lisa. Glad you could join us. So this is actually just the back of that exact same one. So this is one of those cases also where you get to enjoy the fact that you get to use both sides of the DSP. Like I said, I just love the rich colors on here. I mean, you could use this for a masculine card. There we go. Just make sure you get, when you have a triangle like this, you get a little bit up in the corners, because that's where it tends to kind of try to pull itself off. Now, of course, you could do this on a, you know, just a regular old card front, but we're enjoying having this fancy fold. Okay, so now this is our little part that goes over the top. And this piece is fresh freesia, and it's 3 by 8, and it's scored in the middle at 4. So that's our little piece that's going to go here, but I think I'm going to finish putting it together. Well, actually, you know what? We can go ahead and glue this down probably. And this is one of those, especially why I like glue, because I want to make sure that this is going to be able to fold well. So I'm trying to center it side to side here. Whoops. See how I can just move it a little bit? And I want to make sure it's going to fold. So there we go. So I didn't really push it down so that I could move it up and down a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's do the inside and the outside of this. So for the outside, I took both the inside and the outside piece of basic white are 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this little one we're going to emboss with the cane embossing folder. So this is a new embossing folder. As you can, it's one of the thick 3D ones, and it is a big one, so we can't do it in our little baby machine. So I got the big one out. And remember, always, people get confused about what plates to use. Always just look at the bottom piece. It's going to tell you which plates. And in this case, it's just number 1 plate and the gray number 4 plate. And you notice how easy that slides through here too. If it doesn't slide through easy, there's something wrong, and recheck that you're using the correct plates. All right, so now we got this cane embossing folder here. That's just so pretty. I didn't get this one at first, and then I saw how cool it was. Now I'm gonna show you something pretty cool that I love to do with this kind of flowered paper. So I'm not going to spend time cutting here, but I think when people see these big sheets of paper, they start cutting out, if they're going to use them that way, cut out these flowers here. And then you notice all these little flowers around the edges that a lot of people will throw away, and they'll say, well, it's not a full flower. I don't know what to do with it. This is what you do with that. You take them and you cut out these little ones like this. Because look, I could stick this on here like that, and it's gonna take up like all the room. Or what I could do is take this one that was along the edge and put it along the edge. And this can even, you know, go over a little bit, because this is not the edge of our piece, of our card. And put this one down here. And voila, we've used those edge pieces to decorate with. And then you can get kind of obsessed with these edge pieces, like I just did this afternoon while I was waiting for you guys. I came down here a little early because I knew I was gonna have to check that things were gonna work on my phone. I'm not sure what I was gonna do if it wasn't working, because I'm not in the exact room where the internet is so great. Not that my internet is so great. And so I sat here cutting out a bunch more flowers, and I'm going to show you. This is not done yet, but look what I did. These are all edge pieces of this same piece of paper and one of the other pieces of paper. And all I'm going to need to do is put a little sentiment in the middle, and I can be done. So now I'm kind of obsessed with these edge pieces, going, oh wow, I don't have enough edge pieces here, but guess what? You can always, you know, make yourself an edge piece. All right. So let's do a little stamping. So remember, we've got that stamp set that we cut in half. So instead of a sympathy card, we're gonna do the I didn't forget your birthday. Whoops. Got some edges on here. So if you notice you're catching the same edge over and over again, I will often just trim these off. And this is one of the pieces in Fresh Freesia from the Something Fancy set. No, it's not perfect. Let's try another one. Lining it up along one of those little lines here. Again, caught that edge. So I will, like I said, I will go cut that off later because I don't like catching an edge. There we go, that's better. And then here's my piece. That's the other half of this. Again, this is the one I cut in half. Just making sure it's gotten inked up well. Obviously, you wouldn't use this card if you have a lot to say to somebody. Where'd it go? Because we don't have a lot of room. Okay. I don't know if that was on camera or not, but I just practically dropped this and got ink all over my hands. So we are going to wipe it off, because this is what happens whenever I use Blackberry Bliss. Why Blackberry Bliss? I'm not sure, but it always happens when I use Blackberry Bliss, and then I end up getting the ink on my card. So I'm wiping my fingers off. All right, so this is going on the inside. Only happens when I use Blackberry Bliss. Occasionally happens with one of the darker reds. Never with anything else. And again, this piece is the exact same size as the piece that's on the front, which is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then we'll do the front. I'm going to hold it for just a little bit longer than usual, and this is why the glue comes in so handy. There's just a lot of little nooks and crannies on the back of that, and so we want to try to get them all in those nooks and crannies. Now here's another piece of that same paper. It's this one, okay? And what I want to do is cut a few, or punch a few of these little bows. So we're using the back of this, and this is like a great use for that. You know how when you cut 2 card fronts and you have like an inch or so on the bottom? This is a great use for that little inch. So let's get some dimensionals here. Hey, Peggy. You like that I'm using your favorite punch? Well, good. All right, so you guys got to get ready because I'm going to ask you to help me on the design in a minute on this. You get to decide what embellishments we're using. Whoops. You notice I'm not really trying to put this on the whole thing. Just enough to get it to stay stuck down. All right, and one more. I think I'm going to make this a little bit shorter for the inside. This one I am going to try to stick down a little bit better. I don't know if you can hear it, so of course, after I came down here, my neighbor decided it'd be a good time to have the gardeners or whatever is going on over there. I can't really tell. All I can tell is that there's noise. See, look, that's a little smush from my Blackberry Bliss fingers. All right. So here we go with our card. Let's see if we can get it to lay a little flatter here. And I need help with embellishments. So who wants to give me a little shout out here? So on the other card, I use the iridescent basic jewels. Iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. So that's what I used on the other card. Or we can use the pastel pearls. I was noticing this, this light one would look really nice. I don't think the other ones would, but we could use that one. Or, let's leave that out. The opaque adhesive back gems, they also, I'd probably use some small ones, have the fresh freezer. So you've got a choice of 3. Somebody give me a shout out on which one to use on our card. So like I said, on the other card, I use the iridescent rhinestones. These are one of my favorite embellishments because look how, they are clear, but they pick up whatever color they're on, or sometimes even what color they're kind of next to. Second one. What was the second one, Lisa? The pearls? You have to say pearls? Everybody wants the pearls. We got 2 votes for pearls. Anybody else want to vote? I think pearls were the second one. All right, pearls it is. I think with this one, because these are so big, I'm going to put, let me see, maybe one there, and maybe one here. So we got our pearls, and we got our iridescent rhinestones over here. And let me actually, so there's those 2. I'm going to show you a few other cards that I made using this same paper because I kind of did get obsessed with it. I made this card. I think this was, thank you, Robin. I didn't know you were watching. These are 1-inch strips, and I believe they're 3 3/4 inches. Let me just, yeah, 3 3/4 inches. Or maybe they're 3.5. Maybe the other thing's 3 3/4. Yeah, the white's 3 3/4. So this is 3.5 by 1. And this was just a 4-inch strip, and then I cut them down like that. Here's another one, same thing. Although if you look really closely, it's supposed to go like this, where you can actually see the picture. I mixed them up. It was one piece, but guess what? It still looks beautiful. Here's one that's really good for using like little strips from several different ones. So again, using your leftover pieces. And then here's one just using, but we are, there we go. We are still here. So thank you guys. I love this fold too. I can't remember whose blog I saw this on, but then I kept seeing this same fold everywhere. So I figured the universe was trying to tell me it was time to use this one. So thank you guys for coming on with me. I'll see you next week, hopefully, if it's not too loud here, next Monday at 1 Pacific time. And like I said, I'll go post these on my blog a little bit later so you can get all the measurements again. So take care, everybody. Have a good afternoon. Bye.